Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Araba Kumsing, and coming up in today's edition, new patriotic party flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo gives a firm assurance he will implement every campaign promise he has made. His assurance is coming quick on the heels of criticism his policies are not feasible. We'll hear from him. Meanwhile, the Progressive People's Party flag bearer Dr. Parkwesi Indum hits at his MPP colleague, saying his one dam, one village policy is something he's already done. We'll bring you details as he continues his campaign with his Dua message. And a court in Ho in the Volta region orders the Electoral Commission not to delete names of 60 voters whose eligibility is being contested by the MPP. We'll get details and hear from the MPP. All this and more coming up in your election brief. Hello again, I'm Araba Kumsing. We begin with the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, who has come under criticism, especially by his political opponents, about his various campaign promises. As you may be aware, the MPP leader on his various campaign tours has, among others, promised to build factories in every district and dams in every village. The governing NDC has cast doubt on his ability to fulfill these promises and has asked the electorate to dismiss them. Well, now Nana Akufo-Addo is responding to his critics, giving a firm assurance he will implement every single policy promise he's made on his campaign tour of the country. Listen to him as he addressed party supporters in the northern regional capital, Tamale.
You have been hearing about the promises I am making. If God willing, I win the election in December. The National Health Insurance Scheme, it has collapsed. I am going to revive it. I am still fully committed to the free senior high school policy. Teacher training allowances are going to be restored. Nurses training allowances are also going to be restored. You have heard me talking about a factory for every district and also about one village, one dam. These are all policies that we're going to put into being to revive our country and bring progress and prosperity to Ghana. And I want to tell you, I am going to fulfill each and every one of these promises. If you give me the I am not going to tell the Ghanaian people that I am going to do something when I know I cannot do it. I will never, ever lie to the people of Ghana.
Well, joining him on that tour is former trade minister under the Kufuor administration, Alan Kyerematen, who mocked the governing NDC for touting its infrastructural achievements, saying they cannot compare their record to that of the Kufuor administrations.
If you listen to the message of the NDC, they have only one message. Their message is that over the last 8 years, they have built schools, they have built roads, they have built hospitals. Let me ask you, is there a government in Ghana that has not built roads? Is there a government in Ghana that has not built hospitals? Is there if the NDC wants to compare their record on infrastructure with the record of the MPP, I tell you, there will be no challenger for a party to come into government. It's to improve the lives of the people. Me, I know I was a man missing. Must you tell what to say? Must you tell what to say? What the government needs to do is to country. If the NDC could provide jobs for the youth of this country, they would have done so over the last 8 years. But we want to give you our commitment that if you make Nana to the next president of the Republic of Ghana, we are going to make sure that we create jobs throughout the whole of this country.
Former Trade Minister under the Kufuor administration, Alan Tremanting there. We can get an update of the MPP flag bearers campaign because correspondent Martina Bugri joins us on the line now. Martina, where is the flag bearer now? What's he been preaching this time round?
The flag bearer is currently at Saboba where he's addressing a rally. But earlier on, the vice presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, mounted the stage and he was highlighting how they would implement the projects they intend to introduce when they win power. And he says that the development fund they are talking of, they'll have 2 development funds, one for the northern sector, that's the 3 regions of the north, one for the middle, and one for the coastal sector. He says that the various authorities will be reporting directly to the presidency. Now, the flag bearer himself has just mounted the podium and he's beginning to address the crowd. Earlier on, they visited the chief of Saboba, and earlier on, we had heard reports that the chief of Saboba endorsed the presidential candidate of the NDC. But this morning, when they arrived here, the chief denied that he endorsed the NDC presidential candidate. They also visited the chief imam who prayed for Nana Akufo-Addo, and in response, Nana Akufo-Addo said when he comes into power, he will reinstall the Arabic instructors allowance that was introduced under the Kufuor administration and cancelled under the John Dramani Mahama administration.
All right, many thanks for that update, and that's our correspondent Martina Bugri there. Well, speaking of campaign promises, one of those criticizing the MPP leader about his one dam, one village policy is the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum. Dr. Indum has also been busy touring various parts of the country, but as he says, he's moving away from the norm where politicians tend to promise and rather campaign on the message that he's a doer and should be tested on his record of providing jobs, among others. Well, Dr. Indum has also been reacting to Nana Akufo-Addo's promise of building a dam in every village. Watch.
What are the promises quarreling about now? Well, now Nana Akufo-Addo says one village, one dam. And they are quarreling over that one too. Akufo-Addo says you vote for him in the northern region, he will build one dam for every village. And some NDC people say he can't do it. And some other NDC people are also saying, well, that is part of John Dramani Mahama's program. So what is it? Well, all I can say is that yes, it's another example, another thing to tell us that indeed we are in a campaign period. People are looking for votes, and so they are prepared to promise anything, say anything to get your vote. Well, I am not a promiser. I am a doer. So while Nana Akufo-Addo keeps walking around promising one village, one dam, and John Dramani Mahama's people are also taking a cue from that and arguing over who can make that promise happen. Well, Papa Kwesi Indum, I have already been working on that. Go to Saraga North and ask them. This year, we have dug some dams for them. There are villages there who are now today enjoying water. Not because elections were coming, but because we found them in need of water, and we gave it to them. And God asked the people in Kumbungu, they will also tell you that I have helped them to get water, and so on and so forth. So while they are promising, while others are quarreling, Papa Kwesi Indo, I am doing it. Who do you want to vote for? The promisers or the doer? The Progressive People's Party. That is where the doers are.
So that's flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum there. You're still watching Election Brief here on Multi TV. Welcome back to the program. Now, a magistrate court in Agotime, Kwetoe in the Volta region has ordered the Electoral Commission not to delete names of 60 voters whose eligibility is being challenged by the New Patriotic Party. Officials of the party had challenged the eligibility of the 60 voters in the register for Akpo Kokpe LA Primary A and B. Figures from the Volta Regional Directorate of the Electoral Commission reveal that over 5,000 objections were raised during the voters register exhibition exercise in the region. Let's get on the line and speak to regional correspondent Ivy Setaji for more on this. Ivy, you've been doing some digging following the court's orders. What have you found?
Well, I to the court, the district court, and I was able to speak with the registrar of the court. He was saying that just cited lack of knowledge of the electoral laws, malicious intent, and a calculated attempt to disenfranchise voters, and attempt to mislead the court as a reason for throwing out the case. According to him, the court has ordered the Electoral Commission not to delete the citizens from the register. When I asked him whether or not the NPP can appeal again, he told me that they can do that in any other court. They have already done at the district court. If they want to do the reason, they can go to another court.
All right, thank you very much. That's Volta Regional Correspondent Ivy Setoji there. We apologize for the poor quality of the line. We're also joined on the line by Dr. Archibald Lecha. He's a Volta Regional first Vice Chairman of the MPP. Many thanks for your time, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
Well, you may have heard the court's reasons. It cites, among others, false declarations, malicious intent, and a calculated attempt to disenfranchise voters and attempts to mislead the court. These are very serious allegations.
Yes, they are quite serious. And good afternoon to your listeners and viewers again. I want to make the point that the LI made room for people to object to names on the register. I want to make it also clear that it was not the NPP that objected to the names. It was two individuals. I hear that one person objected to 20 names and another person objected to 40 names. And the court went into the matter and decided to dismiss the objection.
I see. So it wasn't, you say it was not the party that actually took this action?
No. There were two individuals from the community. One objected to 20 names and one objected to 40. But from what I hear from my officers on the ground, those who did objections were not able to prove their case. So the magistrate decided to dismiss the grounds for the objection.
I see. All right, many thanks. That's Dr. Archibald Lecha. He's the first vice chairman of the NPP in the Volta region. Now, we can all agree that social media is a platform that people from all walks of life can engage on with each other. It's also effective. It's so effective that businesses have cashed in on it, using it as a way to directly reach customers and prospects. And now it appears Ghanaian politicians have capitalized on that as well. In the following report, Joy News' Joseph Akable takes a look at the activities of our tech-savvy flag bearers.
In this video on YouTube, President Mahama, donning a jeans jacket over a pair of blue jeans trousers, zooms out of a compound on his 5,000cc Ducati motorbike to take a look around the capital after the downpour. But that's not all. In another photo that's gone viral, the president is seen making a Usain Bolt victory power pose, angling himself and stretching his hands to the heavens. And in other photos, President Mahama wears a military uniform, also shared thousands of times by his fans. While hundreds of miles away in Bogatanga, MPP flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo took to social media to broadcast his campaign rally. He follows it with a hashtag on Twitter a day after to respond to claims of his health status. Each tweet has the line, quote, "It won't work." This is not any different with other political parties. It's all about posting of powerful selfies to introducing hashtags. Social media is an effective tool to reach out to many. Dr. H. Sikanku is a lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Communication.
It performs several functions. Social media is immediate, and so people are able to get information in real time. You go on a campaign and you want people to hear what you're saying beyond those on a campaign stump, you use social media. So it's useful for information spreading, but also because of its instantaneous nature. It is also useful for mobilization. So you mobilize. People send information out to their supporters. Social media has been found a very effective and popular tool in reaching out to the electorate all over the world.
When next you log on to any social media platform, know you are not only engaging friends, but the politicians may have a word for you. Joseph Akable, Joy News, Accra.
You're still here on Election Brief. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, the issue of political parties and the delay in releasing their manifestos has come up often since the start of this year. The argument has been that the electorate are entitled to the manifestos to enable them make informed voting decisions. It also affords experts the opportunity to do critical and objective assessment of the direction the country is likely to go with regards to the policies proffered by the various parties. Well, Sonetco Institute, a socialist ideological think tank, has taken it upon itself to pile pressure on the parties to release their manifestos. I'm joined in the studio by Eugene Eshan Elliott. He's a communications representative of that group. Now, thanks for your time, Eugene. We know that the manifestos largely help us to move away from abusive campaigns to issues base which better informs the electorate. But you have heard the political parties. They say that they will release it in their own time. They have their own reasons for holding it to their chest. So what can you do against that background?
Okay, so that is why we are sort of pushing them, that it's not a matter of they releasing it at their own time, but it's a matter of we, the electorates, having something based on which we will decide where to put our votes for. It looks like in recent times what we've been we've come to say is that these political parties take us for a ride. They give us T-shirts, they give us this. When they win, they go away with it. And then even now, if you listen to what is going on in their political campaigns, each accusing each other about the fact that this one is stealing my manifesto promises and all that. So we feel that yes, this is a time that you need to let us know what you're going to do for us. If you see Ghana now, what we are trying to avoid is that people push us everything into an emergency, so we don't even know based on what we should vote for. Now this man is saying this, another person is saying this. If you push us to, let's say, 2 months, 1 month to the election day, and then tell us that we should vote based on what are we, and that is why the apathy in our voting is really high.
But there are those who also argue that people don't really look to manifestos in order to, append their signatures against whoever they choose to elect.
They are very right. And the reason why that is so is because we don't have time to interrogate the issues. So it gets to a point that we look at other things like how the person looks like, how the person talks, the following of the people and all that. But if we get the manifestos ahead of time, and then the fourth realm, that is the media, is able to interrogate these things. For instance, some time ago when this free SHS policy came about, where we had a foreign media personnel asking then the candidate Nana Akufo-Addo how much was going to. If we have these things in time, you and your stations can interrogate the issues.
So tell us very briefly, what sort of advocacy are you, embarking on? What are you specifically going to do to ensure that they release the manifestos? Because they have said time and again that they will not release it, only in their own time.
No, I don't think they've said they will not release it, because the last time we checked with some of them, for instance, the NDC, they were going to release it on the 14th of this month, last month, just past month, and then I think because of the president had to travel, it didn't come up. The MPP on the other hand said they were going to release, they actually gave us the day that they were going to release it on the 4th of October.
So what is this institute going to do?
We are doing, one of what we are trying to do is just to push a certain kind of agenda, to push them to do, and that's one of where we being here today is one of it, to kind of push them to give us the manifesto.
Very well, thank you very much. And that's Eugene. He's with the Sonetco Institute, and they are trying to put pressure on the political parties to release their manifestos. Well, that's our show for today. Remember, you can log on to My Joy Online to catch the show if you missed the live broadcast. I'm Araba Kumsin. Make a date with us tomorrow. The Pulse with Francis Abban is up next.